Okay, we've got another art box here, guys. Time to do my first ScrawlrBox unboxing. Whoa. Okay. Move that. Some cardstock, it feels like. Wait a sec. This looks really familiar. I know this artist. Is this drawing with waffles? Oh, snap. It is drawing with waffles. That is awesome. Do. Okay. I'm excited to see what is in here. I love her work. And now I have a piece. Okay. Move the paper back. Let's open up the ScrawlrBox. What do we got here, guys? We've got the glittery purple sticker. We've got the menu. Look at that in a little bit. Ooh, Copic. Looks like two brush pens, a fine liner maybe? Doodle pack, purple. Okay. A paint pen. Ooh, that's a nice one. A Derwent paint pen. Sorry, not Derwent. 0.5. We got another sketching pencil. Looks like it's a 2.5 HB. Ooh, that's nice. Anything else? Oh, we got pea candy. It looks like those chalky candies. And it's attached to... Ooh, a pen. I love pens so much. That's awesome. Anything else? Oh, hey, another kneaded eraser. I love these things. Okay. Anything else? Nope, that's it. Okay, cool. Let's see what I can do with these. Alright, time to do some swatching. Let's start off with, of course, the regular HB pencil. Haven't felt this one before. It feels fine. It's a regular pencil. Don't know what I was expecting with that. Okay, let's try this Copic multi-liner. Interesting. Wine colored. 0.3. Alright. Oh, and if you're wondering why I'm holding my camera, it's because my tripod broke. So, yeah. And I can't get this off. 1 second. Back. Yeah, feels like a regular fine liner. Nothing too fancy. Moving on to this, which is the At You Spica pink twinkling glitter pen, I'm guessing. Looks like, yeah, okay. Let's try this out. Oh, whoa, that's a weird nib. Okay. Oh, whoa. That is definitely sparkly. I don't know how well this shows it, but yeah, no, that's very interesting. Very smooth. Okay, that's done. On to these Copics. Man, I haven't tried a Copic in forever. So, dual-sided Copic markers. Got a chisel and a brush. I love brush tips. Yep, that's definitely a Copic. Smooth. Oh gosh, do I have glitter in my hand? No! Glitter, it's the herpes of art supplies, I swear. Okay. And of course the Copic works perfectly. But this is also, of course, a swatch test. Which one is this? This is... Does not say, does it? Oh, yeah. BV00. The other one is BV04. Try it out. Ooh, that's a nice one. Goes dark. Layers. Yep. Okay. They're definitely Copic markers. No doubting that. Now onto this paint pen of a brand oh, man, I actually have to open it. One sec. Alright, I have activated it. I don't really like paint pens with such thin tips, because I always feel like whenever I'm activating them, I'm going to break them. But anyways, let's actually get a bead on it. Come on, stop focusing on my hand and focus on the piece. Okay, that works really nice. Derwent, of course, is usually a pretty good brand, so yeah. Alright, now, what am I going to draw? Apparently the theme is dress to the nines. So, yeah, I'm not very good with fashion. This is going to be fun. Okay. Alright, now on to the sketching phase. So I figured, sitting there thinking about the whole design of what I was going to do some quick little sketches. So I used the paper to measure out the area that I have to work in, and I just started working on it, thinking about, like, okay, dressed to the nines, it's usually a term dressed, representing someone who's really snazzily dressed. And whenever I think of that also, and I just hear that phrase, I just automatically, switch to thinking about the 1920s and, speakeasies and pinstripe suits and whatnot, and getting into that, and I was just like, okay, I think I had an idea, and I had this idea of, a guy sitting at a bar, and I had thought I was going to give him an ascot, but I decided to change that into just, a undershirt with a light little collar. Not gonna lie, I'm really not used to doing backgrounds a whole lot, which is another thing I wanted to experiment with this. Also, looking back on it, I just realized I never actually gave him a collar. I just made it look like he had a undershirt with long sleeves, which, I mean, it looks good in the end, but I just realized it doesn't exactly make sense, which is why I don't design fashion, guys. I'm terrible at it. I can barely dress myself. Originally, I was sitting there thinking maybe I'll have him holding, a martini glass in one of his hands. That's the one back here on the side. And playing around with that, and just have his other one kind of gesturing like he's talking to a bartender or something. But yeah, I realized that probably wasn't going to work, so I ended up changing the design a little bit. I was also toying around with the idea of making him bald, or giving him a hat. So ended up going through, and while I was sketching through the lines, I was actually going over different hats that I remember, and I decided to just go with fedora. And I kind of liked how this sketch turned out. I ended up changing it a little bit in the actual drawing, but without further ado, let's just get this line work out of the way. Alright, got my line work done. Let's get out the supplies we're going to be using, and let's use the wine liner. So I wanted to play around with it a little bit. I made his pose a little bit more casual. He was holding the glass in his left hand, and he had his watch over on his right. And it felt really nice, felt casual. I ended up ditching his goatee and just sticking with a clean-shaved face, and yeah. Lining is easily like my favorite part of actually drawing, but I also feel like to other people that are just sitting there watching, it's probably the most boring part of it. But yeah, I know a lot of people just consider it like tracing your own work, and of course isn't the most exciting thing in the world to watch. So I jumped around a little bit and decided to just, like have fun with it like I always do. I remember when I first started like doing research on the 1920s. It was back when I was in high school and I was reading this webcomic called Lackadaisy Cats, and they had a role-playing forum on their page. So me and a buddy of mine would go on there, and we had our characters, and we'd learn the lingo and use that. And we'd, of course, get our characters drawn by different people on there, and then I'd try drawing them. And it was really fun exploring and playing around with it. And I always just think back, and it always makes me think of one word in particular, ishkabibble, which is just kind of like general random nonsense, that kind of stuff. Yeah, so finally time to start coloring, and I have not used a Copic marker other than that swatch in years, and from what I remember, these feel so much different. It was smooth, and like it didn't bleed through the paper as much as I remember it doing, but also like I feel like when I first got into using those markers, it was I had a lot to learn, and I didn't know exactly what I was doing, so I just kind of like tossed them aside, like, ugh, these aren't as good as I thought they were going to be, because, when you buy new supplies, you're just automatically thinking, oh, hey, this is going to make me such a better artist, instead of, okay, I got a new thing, I'm going to have to learn how to use it. So here I am, just outlining the entire thing, making it so it's easier for me to just color the entire thing in super quickly with just the brush. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of chisel nibs. I think I mentioned that in the last video with the alcohol markers, but surprisingly, I really like the ones on those alcohol markers. But just using a brush nib in general is so much easier and faster. And playing with only two colors two or three colors, depending on how you're thinking about it, and then like the white pen the paint pen let me really like create designs that I've never actually used before in my drawings and kind of just have fun with it. But I also had to make sure that like my line work was still very clear and precise on what I was doing, but I also didn't want it to be boring. So yeah, I was playing around with that a lot. I gotta say though, the restriction of only using two markers as opposed to the, what was it, like 15 or 16 that I got with the Lax box, is that you have to think outside the box a little bit more. You have to plan where your highlights and darken bits are going to end up being, and how you're going to layer the colors, and where you're going to put everything so it doesn't bleed together. And it was so weird because I'm not used to doing that. Hell, I'm barely even used to coloring, and I don't know if it's exactly apparent from me using these Copics, but it was really fun, especially like playing around with just a plain white shirt, and then having the really light purple to accent as shadows, and it looks so good too. I was really surprised. I was actually really excited because it didn't look like it stood out too much, and it felt like a natural shadow. And also while I was doing this, I had to try to figure out how to do the skin, and I figured I'd do pretty much the same way I did the shirt. And to add in some more color, I went and took that sparkling pen and used that as the little ascot undershirt area, as well as the liquor in his martini glass with his little olive in there. Went through with the white paint pen to start doing the pinstripes, and I realized I'm only going to do those on the actual vest as opposed to the vest and the pants, though it did come out really nice, and I like how the creases turned out on the pants. Yeah, they went together pretty good, in my opinion. using just the 2 or 3 colors for the person honestly wasn't all that bad. It was when I realized I also only had those 2 or 3 colors to start doing the background when I actually started getting more worried about it and trying to figure out what I was going to do while I was doing it, because honestly, I'm terrible at planning things ahead of time, which is why on the last video I just put in background music on my sketches and drawing instead of actually taking out my microphone that I use for podcasting and using that to do a voiceover. And yeah, this is so much easier, so much better. It's so much more natural for me, honestly, since I've been podcasting for over a year now, which is ridiculous to think about. Oh my gosh. Things are going good over there, though. And I'm really happy with how things are starting to shape over here. The artist actually who was featured in the ScrawlrBox video that I did actually ended up shouting me out on her story on her Instagram, which made me super happy. Thank you, Scribbles. I really appreciate that. Thank you for liking my video. But yeah, it was fun. And I really enjoyed it. And honestly, like, going through these 2 boxes, I really enjoyed both of them. The little, like, pin that came in this one, because I found it was actually for the birthday, and I didn't realize, or was it birthday or was it 50 crates? I don't know, but it was really cool because it was a special one, and I just happened to get it on my first one. And then, though the ScrawlrBox is so nice and had so much in it, and like they were pretty much the exact same price whenever I had done both of them. And full disclosure, I accidentally ordered both. Like, I didn't mean to order them. I was actually just checking the prices on them when I hit the button, and it was like, okay, order made. I was like, wait, what? Oh no. Oh crap. I did not mean to do this. But I was like, nope, I did it, and so I'm going to live up to it. And I was like, oh, hey, this is the perfect opportunity to start using my YouTube channel that I never use. So here we are, as I sit here and I color a speakeasy in the back of a shop. Because why not, right? I wanted to make sure it was dry a little bit before I had actually started going back and adding on and layering the markers to put in some shadows, and also, you know, giving myself time to think about what I was going to do with everything, and I was going to, finish up this drawing. Because at this point I was like, well, crap, this has a lot of empty space, so I'm going to play around with it. And I like doing these usually simple shapes behind my drawings to help the focus of it pop. But I don't really feel like it really fit here in this kind of situation. So I ended up changing up my plan a little bit and adding in some more abstract shapes, just to kind of give this side of the drawing a little bit of pop and to accent it from the other side, and shape out the character a little bit more so he was more of the focus. But also there was other things you can kind of just like, oh hey, that's pretty cute, that's pretty cool, that's not a boring drawing to look at whatsoever. Because I never feel like my drawings are very interesting to look at for very long, so I'm always trying to figure out new ways to draw the eye and put focus on different parts of the drawing while, not taking too much of it away from the main focus, which is, of course, in this case, the 1920s man sitting and drinking a martini. Skipping forward a little bit and adding in some sparkles to use that paint pen a little bit more, because I really like how this looks, and I feel like this would, help pop a little bit and give it some shine and dazzle. And here it is, the final piece for this month's ScrawlrBox. Why did I suddenly forget what it was called? Here's everything that I used. Of course, I didn't use the ScrawlrBox kneaded eraser. I used my own. But yeah, here's the finished drawing and everything that came in the box. Yeah. So I feel like this is the point where I should say,
like, subscribe, and all that whatnot if you really feel like it. I'm honestly just doing these because I think they're fun, and I want to draw more because the only thing I've been drawing lately is Pokemon for my TikToks, which, don't get me wrong, I love doing, but it gets a little bit tiring when you draw, Pokemon every day, and I have over 800 that I need to draw. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. My name's Kevin, aka Coffee, and I'll see you later.